welcome to another episode of Amasec N Archaeotech with me, Mitch.
And myself, Ched. Welcome, everybody. Hope everyone has been doing well. This will be the final episode of Season 2. We will reflect back and look forward to the future. What do you think about how this year's gone, mate?
Yeah, I think it's been an interesting times all around. The release of third edition's been a slight bump, but hopefully smooth sailing going forward in terms of what to expect.
Yeah, I think after all our games now, I know you've had a few more than me, but after our recent games of this edition, I feel more in the swing of things. I'm happy with my main army. Yeah, I'll be excited to talk about future projects.
Yes, certainly. And in terms of the podcast and what we want to do, watch this space. But yeah, we might vary up some ways of how we put it together, and also some general structure of it. But yeah, it's all still in the works at the moment.
Yep, we're going to have an experiment, see what works well, and if you never hear from us again, thanks for coming. Taking this thing to Guatemala.
Indeed. Have you got any particular, I don't know, like one or two things out of this year from anything, model, game, any kind of moment that you'd like to focus on during our period of Season 2?
Season 2 highlight for me, I guess, having our Richard Reed on as our guest, I think was the highlight. Really, that was really cool. Great learning from his knowledge there, and exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I think the same for me on that end. And obviously getting ourselves up and running on YouTube and seeing our little sketches up and running has been good fun. So onwards and upwards.
Right then, so onwards. What have we been hobbying, mate? What have you been up to?
Not a lot, to be fair. I've had a bit of a slump's the wrong word, but sort of a breather from a lot of mass hobbying on my way to the Stone. Gosh damn it! Every single time. I want to say Game of Thrones, and it's just not that. Throne of Skulls event up in Warhammer World. So the only thing I've actually done is... No, it's not that. Is not for legal reasons, according to their lawyers. I have purchased from Tarot Model Maker and painted up a second melter cannon for my Knight Questoris. So I have a little bit of shootiness and some anti-tank killability with my Knight now that I didn't have before.
Yeah, it was cool to see at the event.
Yeah, I think it was semi-effective, but we can get onto that when we get there. The other thing I've been doing is trying to plan out a Mechanicum force, and I would say the Mechanicum list building is probably the most complex. Confused is the wrong word. I think it kind of works when you know what you're doing, but you really need to have an understanding on how the army works, because it's very much not plug and play at all.
Oh, I see. A bit more advanced, is it?
Yeah, because there's a lot of things that you need other things to make them work, like automata and synergies, and trying to fit them in with... It's probably the most restrictive detachment situation as far as I can see. Obviously, depending on what you want to bring, but it's interesting. So it's also, obviously, that all decides what I'm trying to model. So it's kind of... I want to fit all these models that I have already. I want to have ideas about the future, but equally I need to figure out what I'm going to be putting in as an army, because I don't want to be spending all this time on modeling stuff that I'm never going to field if I want to play them. So it's kind of a catch-22, chicken and egg at the moment.
Are you looking to still include your Knights with this?
I probably won't. I was originally going to do the Acheron and keep that, but I'm finding that I just don't have the points to make it work. So, and the main problem being having 3 Thanatars, which I pretty much almost completely built during the end of second edition.
Oh, yeah.
And now having to shoehorn them in is very difficult.
Yeah, no doubt.
How about you, mate?
I have been hobbying something very different. I have been painting some figures from the board game Journeys in Middle-earth. A Lord of the Rings kind of board game. There's an app that takes you through it, and you build the the map in front of you as you go. It's all sort of hex based, and there's some figures in that, and some friends were playing it and kindly let me take them home to paint some. So
very cool.
I've taken one of each of the villains, painted an orc so far and a wild man, and then we'll move on to some members of the Fellowship that we've been playing for our next games night. So yeah, that's been really cool actually. I have taken out, no joke, every shade of brown I own to use, because Lord of the Rings is very brown. Then maybe someone's got a blue sort of vest on, or a green vest, or like maybe the orc skin is a little green, but then there's even different hues of orcs. There's one's kind of slightly blue grey, and one's like a reddy brown, and this sort of stuff. And then I have been using my rust dirty down quite a lot, which has come out really nicely. I wouldn't say they're 32mm scale either. They seem a bit chunky, but they seem like the old school, like 25mm scale, maybe a bit taller, sort of somewhere in between, maybe a 28mm scale. But no, they've been really fun to paint.
It's so very different.
Yeah, very different. Learning how to paint fur. I got on well with some skin. I tried all my monument skin paints and different ones of that, laid it up, kind of did sort of highlights and kind of build it up, and then glazed with Regal & Fresh shade. And I think it's come out really well. I'm pretty pleased with that, actually.
Nice. You showed me that they're Wild Man.
Oh, yes, yeah. He's the one with all the skin, yeah. You know, skin fella.
Skin lad, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. And something very different.
After doing the run to finish all the pyroclasts and the fire drakes, it was a cool change.
How many have you got left to do?
So I've finished 2, and then there's our 4 play characters. I'm Legolas, of course. 2 other orcs, one skeletal dude that I've got to figure out what it is, because I don't think he's Legion of the Dead. No, not Legion of the Dead, Army of the Dead. And then a wolf. So I've got to learn how to paint wolf fur, which is quite exciting.
Natural things I have absolutely sod all experience with. So again, very daunting for me.
One with the machine, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. In all things.
If it's metallic and it stomps on things, it's all you.
Yeah, exactly. Big friend of the stomp. Not so much the softer touch. No, that's cool. I'm going to have to take some tips off you going forward with some of the stuff I'm doing.
Yeah. If anyone has a particular tutorial to recommend, please send it our way.
100%.
Where are we going next? We are going to talk about our event last weekend.
It was the Bonds of Battle event. It was down Portsmouth Way in a little social club in Hilsea. It was run by Will. I don't have any other tags or names for him unless you do.
Of course, phone number. That's GDPR. Can't do that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a bit much. We'll give you the first 4 digits. You'll have to find a way of getting the rest.
Hobby Henchman, though, is the regular club that they have down there at the venue. So, which I will be partaking in moving forward, which is quite exciting.
And is that a Facebook group, is it?
I found it as a website.
Oh, okay.
If you search Hobby Henchman, and then it comes up with the WhatsApp link, got into the WhatsApp through there, and yeah, I've been chatting to a few people and have organised 2 games already.
Nice. Well, if anyone is in the sort of Portsmouth, Hilsea, Havant, is that a thing? Am I right in saying Havant?
Yep, you are. There he is. He's remembered the train stops along the way.
There, I surely have. Then do head over there and have a little look-see. It's a gentleman's club, which is nice because it means you can have a few pints after.
Absolutely.
Very reasonably priced. And they got Murphy's. That's also nice. Anyway, I digress. It was a 3,500 point event. It was a doubles event. You could take the Lord of War went up to 875 maximum. So, which is cool. So you could take a little bit more than the usual. Actually, no, it was 25%. I think that is 25% of it anyway. So that's all good. But yeah, it was a good time, I think. How about you, Ched? Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, I had a great time. It was a cool event, some excellent opponents, met some new people, and a big shout out to all of them. Mitch, do you have the names up?
I do, yes. So it was a 4-game event over 2 days, over the Saturday and Sunday. Game 1 was Connor and Ben, and they were Iron Warriors and Death Guard. Ben Was it Ben or was it Connor who had the Warhound?
It was Connor who had the Warhound.
It beautifully painted in Legio Krytos colours. Really good fun. First time we've played them, so we'll go on to that. Our second game was against George and Patrick, which were Mech and Iron Warriors. Again, also beautifully painted army. Matt and Nick's Ultras and Night Lords. Beautiful coloured Night Lords blue.
Oh, that blue was so good.
It's very cool, and some really interesting Ultramarines conversions. One was like a Malcador that had been converted to a Venator, and also like an open top Rhino, which was really cool. So great Ultramarine conversions there. And then the final game we had was with Dan and Sam, and that was the Thousand Suns and the World Eaters.
Yes, I thought it was good that we didn't play the same thing twice.
No, we didn't.
Because normally we play a lot of Iron Warriors, a lot of Night Lords, so it was cool to play something different each time. Great opponents, really nice people, just had a laugh with everyone. Terrain rules were the hot topic of the day, I think, or the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what was nice about it, though, is that there was no drama.
No.
In the nicest possible way. There hasn't been that much drama in any event we've ever been to. But
well, even at the last one where there was, and we missed it all.
Yes, had no idea. That's just the Goonhammer doubles event.
Treegate, I believe it's being known as.
Apparently this has travelled. The echoes of it still remain. But yes, terrain. So terrain is interesting and remains interesting. I finally understand how it works now, I think. How about you? Do you reckon you have a rough idea?
Yeah, no, I feel a lot more confident with it and just feel like every bit of terrain needs an extra 3-inch border around each piece.
Yes, I think that would work tremendously. So, Ched, would you mind, for the listener, if you're new, would you try and like to explain how you understand the terrain rules to work? For medium terrain specifically, we're talking about here.
The medium terrain, which probably is the most common terrain, that it's still from second edition, a reduced movement by 2 inches.
Yep.
Unless you've got Dozer Blades on your tanks, they can go full chaff. But you cannot see further than 3 inches into a piece of terrain.
Yep.
So if your model is precariously placed on the edge, it can be seen shot. Still gets a cover save, but if it's in depth-wise, 3 inches, cannot be seen, but cannot shoot out. Likewise,
if it also goes through a 3-inch piece, so if it's a corner or you're trying to gain line of sight, if it goes through more than 3 inches of a piece of terrain, then you can't see that. You can't see the enemy on the other side.
So hiding around the corner has to be very well positioned, otherwise you're still getting shot.
Yes, for sure. And also they are infinitely high.
Infinitely high, yes, which goes back to Treegate. But so I wanted to ask you about that, actually. How did you feel about using the terrain rules? Because it was very specified that we are using the terrain rules in the book at the event, and I had no problem with that, actually. It got me more comfortable with them. But I wanted to ask you how you found these terrain rules with your knights, because knights are very tall and physically stand above a lot of building terrain that we see. So how does infinitely tall play into your hand, if at all?
I think it's quite useful, to be honest. We played the first game with, I think, quite an experienced. This is with Ben and Connor, and because they were very kind enough to explain it with me, even from my numerous questions and having to re-explain it because it wasn't clicking. But yeah, so he had a Warhound on one end of the corner, and I had 3 knights, and my Acheron, basically the way the table was set up was there's so much terrain and there were big, large footprints of terrain that my Acheron went from one end of the board to the other, being hidden the entire time to just emerge. Well, actually, the Warhound came at me and then I was in melee with it. So it never had a chance to shoot at me the entire time I was there, which was, as a knight player, is actually quite refreshing, because every other time I've ever played knights, especially in second edition, they were usually one of them was wiped off the board before I'd even had a chance to do anything because you can't hide them, because terrain doesn't really affect me. And equally, I can't be affected by anything that is a benefit to me. So in that regard, it was actually quite useful. What it does mean, though, is that my ability then to shoot at things is also greatly reduced as well because of cover and you needing to be in direct lines or lanes of vision. So I think overall it's probably a win, but again, like in all things with terrain, it just depends on what the terrain is.
For sure.
Because if you can't if you can't fit a big base in the middle of a 170 mil base in a footprint, then it's not really going to come into effect really that much, other than being massive line of sight blockers for your ability to see other things. Kind of, I think probably an even split, maybe even to my detriment actually, when you think about it that way, because how often are you going to find those big pieces of terrain? It does. Well, what do you think before I get onto that?
Well, I mean, it was interesting when the objective was in a piece of terrain, and then everyone had to get in. And if you're defending it, then it's great; you can't be shot at, and they've got to come to you, and you've got to fight. But then it's a case of having a squad to come in and defend the defenders of the objective. So then it becomes tricky because terrain only has so much space internally. I found people were, balancing models precariously across multiple levels, and it was a lot of, he's here because he won't fit there because these will fall over. So there's a lot of keep a track of physically how the models were. But I think getting around that, it's still some exciting interactions.
Yeah, I think there's exciting interactions, but I think you just nailed it on the head. They are basically all terrain you own that you think is ruins. If unless they've got actual solid floors that you can actually put your guys on, they almost work more like Legions Imperialis, where they're better off being a square block with a floor, like a 4x4 square, for example, so you can put all your men in it, because the walls, as you see them, aren't as they actually are being played. So you're almost better off with no terrain, like no actual physical terrain, and just squares with, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because then you could fight. Everyone could be in there and fight in there.
Yeah.
And then or as I said, making big like flat platforms so that you're in there, but you're on the bottom floor.
Or cardboard walls. You just fold the walls down.
Or just fold the walls down. Yeah, removable walls. So yeah, it's tricky because the main reason that you enjoy, or I enjoy this game, is because it looks amazing when you're playing it, and the interactions are fun, and you can play, and well, the main reason is the guy on the other side of the table, and you're having a bit of a laugh and meeting someone new and getting to chat some nerdy hobby. But when you're actually playing the game, yeah, it's because it thematically looks sick, and you can take a photo, and you can see all your painted models with someone else's painted models, and this painted scenery, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, immersion.
Indeed, sir. Narrative immersion. That's why we're all here. But in practicality, yeah, it became quite finicky. Yeah. I don't know. That's a really good point, as you said. Like, there's a lot of people like, this is here, but it's not here.
Yeah.
This is my model's in here, but I can't put them in here, so we've got to remove the terrain entirely.
Yeah.
Or I'm just like putting in one model to represent everyone, which has always been the case, right? That's always been the case of every game we've ever played. If you can't fit them all on here, I'm just going to put this here to let you know they're all in here. You can't put a whole squad in the Rhino, for example.
No.
When it's so important as it is now, in terms of your ability to see or not see, or when you're in a building, if you're still 3 inches further away from that person in the same building, they still can't see you.
Yeah.
So it's not like you enter the door and then you can see everyone's in there. If it's a 9-inch or 12-inch piece of terrain, and you enter the first 3 inches, and they're 3 inches further away from you, and they have a 3-inch bubble around them, nobody can see them.
No, and imagine trying to get your tape measure in there around all the physical scenery and models, and if the scenery gets too big, it's not without its challenges.
No, very true. We had 3 games that were absolutely no issue. in terms of like terrain. It was just, yeah, there's what it is. It's cool, fine. And then we had one game that there was a bit of a question of how you wanted to play it. And then we rolled for it, and we carried on for as the rules were written or as the event said. But we tweaked it slightly, didn't we? Because we still did sort of true line of sight a little bit with as in like you can see my knights more or less over like a height thing, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was overall. I think I understand it. I think I kind of get it. I think it can work well in keeping stuff alive and keeping you like hopping in and out.
Yeah, if you get an objective marker in a building, you're almost, you can take a sigh of relief, because if you can get in there, then you're safe until they can come and fight you off it.
Yeah, what it does mean though is actually barrage weaponry is really important.
Because there's barrage,
Don't need line of sight.
so you can shoot on it, and then you choose where, if it's a blast, you choose what level of the terrain you're blasting, so ground level.
Well, actually, I say that. So barrage, you don't choose a line. You don't choose the floor. So when you go and play your solo auxilia, when you go and play against that solo auxilia game that you're going to go and play against, make sure all your men are on the bottom floor and it has a roof. Because if it does, that barrage is never touching you.
Oh, I see. Okay.
They need to have line of sight on you to be able to say what floor they're hitting. Otherwise, it's always like hitting from above, which makes sense, right? It's an artillery piece that's meant to be thousands of miles, well, not thousands of miles away, but like, from a while ago. Whereas blast is you're aiming a rocket at a place and it goes in and then it explodes. If that makes any sense, because it's a blast.
No, sure.
Whereas barrage is on an arc.
Okay.
Before it hits you, so
yeah,
but you're right. But if it isn't there and it's just like a piece of terrain, though, like a empty shell, then barrage could be useful. Could be a useful tool now, thinking about it.
So moving forward, will you be happy to keep using the rules in the book?
I think so. I think it's worth to do that anyway, just to understand how the game is played. Also, very happy to switch back.
So maybe play with them for a bit longer, understand them better, then kind of learn what needs tweaking, instead of just maybe tweaking everything straight away and not really finding out where it is beneficial.
Yeah, and also it depends, what type of events you're going to go to. If you're going to go to a Warhammer World event, or this is the case for all events, right? You just have to read what the pack says. If the pack says it's going to be, this event's going to be rules as written, you have to make your piece of that, or you don't attend. I just think it's important that TOs now make that very clear, that this is going to be what's expected, as all events should for any changes they do. But
definitely, but if not, it's just it is that conversation with your opponent before we start, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, really, that's all it is. That's all it ever has been. And just making sure that everyone's happy with and clear about what's there and what isn't, and they know how the rules are.
Well, then, moving forward, new releases. So we saw the release of the Black Shields and the inductee PDFs, which I think the more I look at them, the more I go back to reference them for myself. Just really cool that they're free. It is a good bit of stuff that we've got there. It's not a book. It's not a Legion Tactica, which in a way is a shame. There's less artwork or whatever. It's not coming out with a mission, but I find that very quickly I can get on and start thinking about, if I want to use them or not.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Like I've had even if I don't ever field a militia army, I think I've had enough entertainment value out of my own mental gymnastics and
100%
Fort Castle of enjoyment with how I'd list build or what I could do to do A, B, C, and D out of it, and it still potentially be legal. I still haven't looked at the inductee really. I certainly haven't looked at the Black Shields other than a few things you've thrown at me, but I think Black Shields could be a really interesting and fun army. It's up there with militia and some of the stuff that you've shown me.
I'm very, very tempted as another project. I know I need to work out my Thousand Suns, but by looking at it, it's kind of, because I was eyeing it up last edition. So yeah, mental gymnastics for sure. I've been looking at.
Yeah, I think also if you've got loads of, with these new kits, you've got loads of bog standard infantry marines, like tacticals. lying around, you don't really know where you're going to put them, then I think Black Shields is a great shout because you could.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter then. And we had a book recommendation during the event for the Angron, Slave of Nuceria. So I've started that, and that's already, I'm only a couple of chapters in, but already I'm thinking there's elements here that would be just great going with my Endrittar model and leading into some ex-World Eater Black Shields that have taken up a few stragglers along the way. And yeah, I'm really ruminating on that one quite heavily.
I mean, I think that's cool. I think that's really cool. I think if you could grab some of those and then grab some, I don't know, some World Eater militia. I'm pretty sure there is a World Eater militia / army out there in the lore as well. Really combine them together. Have these absolute ragtag bunch of people, just anyone they can grab would be quite funny. I think quite good fun as well.
Yeah,
to put together, and also just something different. Like I assume they're going to be more melee focused.
not necessarily.
Okay, but like, what is your army now? What parts of the army do you enjoy? Do you reckon? Is it more like the shooting? Is it more the getting up close personal, bashing people in the heads? Like,
Yeah, good point. I don't know. I don't think we had too much melee.
No,
because my fire drakes either have everything shoot at them,
they get pinned,
or yeah. I mean, it is fun when you just walk in with the fire drakes and be like, yeah, okay, weather this, and then slap them out the way with your thunder hammers, and then like, okay, bye. And then next thing. So that is yeah, they're tough boys.
Well, you got Angron down to 1 wound, so
yes.
And the whole squad he was with, so not bad. And you were falling back during the whole time as well, so
yeah, that was pretty fun.
That was very cool. Yeah, well, it's just something to consider only because you could build either your the Black Shields to do something entirely different that you're not used to.
No, exactly. Yeah, there's a few other options to explore there with their thematic kind of rules. A lot of them get rid of line and vanguard and replace them with another rule that's scoring in a different way. There's one, loot the dead. So you get rid of your line, but you take out a squad and then you loot them, and that's how you gain victory points. So that's a completely different way of playing.
So what, if you just kill a squad,
yeah,
you get them, you get a point.
Yeah, you just loot their stuff and you get victory points.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is fun.
Yes.
From the games we've played, line is just so powerful.
Yeah.
That I still don't think, because it's so standard, as in it's simple, you get points, it works, it's a multiplier on what you're already doing anyway, and it's consistent.
Yeah.
Whereas that, for example, a bit like our last game, you turn up and someone's got 4 units. Great. How am I scoring any more when that one tactical squad can score 3 more points than usual, or 2 more points than usual in one turn?
It's really been tough for you and your Vanguard Knights.
Yeah. That's part of the course standard for it. But yeah, it's really cool. But that's what an amazing rule or thing to have thematically. Like, forget about all this, who's going to win or whatever, but like have these different variations of flavor.
Yeah. For the people that love to build a narrative army, I think Black Shields has some very cool stuff.
I think so far this edition is very much shaping up to being one of the most thematic. I know people initially argued that a lot of the flavor, the spice, has been removed from the Marines and other things because of you don't get so many. You're a salamander, so you get this A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and these special rules, and this, as you did before with the rights of war. But what you can do, I think,
it's come back in other ways.
Yeah, exactly.
The mini games of the challenges and stuff like
that. Yeah, more varied, interesting ways, I think, than just a stand up. Like, you get to be the vanilla flavor, you're the green flavor, and you're the orange flavor. You know.
Yeah.
Again, this is still very early in the edition and still very, very small proportions, but certainly discussions we've had with people so far have been, I think, overall positive on third.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely from this last event, I think mostly people have been enjoying it.
Yeah,
which is good, and that's why it's great going to new events and meeting new people, because you get to hear different experiences. But definitely, it's a very positive vibe at the moment.
Yeah, which is good. Especially because there's been a lot of louder, more negative voices, I think, in the social sphere.
I think that seems to be what happens on the internet, and that gains kind of traction because everybody fears the worst. But actually, when you're there in the coalface, actually playing someone, It's very, very different.
Fair.
Nice. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Do check our socials for upcoming news on the move to Series 3. How exciting. And we should have updates for you coming soon.
Cool. Well, have a lovely rest of your evenings, mornings, afternoons, or in betweens. If you're listening to this,
if you want to tell us where you're listening, do let us know. Oh, this reminds me, Mitch. I have to give a shout out to my mum because she told me she's been listening whilst doing a little home workout. So,
wow.
Go on, Mum. Get them reps in. Do a push up. Go on. A whole push up.
Push it. You can go higher. We know you can go harder and higher. We know you can. Do another one. Yeah. This one's for your mum.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And I will leave you with. Hang on. I thought the book was next to me. It's not. It's next door.
Typical. It's hidden in a 3 inch of terrain, mate. Still there. Still in that 3 inches of terrain.
Into the fires, then, with iron hearts and an oath to do our duty. Vulcan.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, that was almost not worth the time it took you to get that book.